You're watching a movie with friends, nothing special, maybe even a kid's movie, and out of nowhere your eyes start stinging. You blink fast, you look away, you pretend you've got something in your eye, but everyone else in the room is just fine, eating popcorn, unaffected. And you're sitting there wondering why a fictional dog finding its way home just wrecked you emotionally for the next 10 minutes. Or maybe it happens in conversations. Someone tells you something vulnerable, something real, and your throat tightens before you've even processed why. Or you're in the middle of an argument, trying to stay composed, trying to make your point clearly, and the tears show up anyway, completely uninvited, making you feel like you've lost the argument before you've even finished your sentence. Or it's not sadness at all, it's relief, it's gratitude. Someone does something kind for you and your eyes well up like you just got bad news, except it's the opposite of bad news. If any of that sounds familiar, here's a question worth sitting with for a second. Why do some people cry so easily while other people seem to go years without shedding a single tear, even during things that would flatten the rest of us? The truth is, crying easily usually has very little to do with weakness, and a lot to do with how a person's nervous system processes emotional information. Some people are simply wired to feel things more intensely and more quickly. Psychologists sometimes describe this as emotional sensitivity, and it's not a flaw, it's closer to a setting on a dial. Two people can watch the exact same scene, hear the exact same sentence, and one person's nervous system barely registers it while the other person's system lights up immediately. That's not drama, that's just a different threshold. A lot of it also comes down to how someone learned to handle big feelings early in life. Some people grew up in homes where emotions were allowed to exist out loud, where crying wasn't treated as something to be embarrassed about. So their body learned that tears are just a normal release, like sweating after a workout. Other people grew up having to hold everything in, so their tears either disappeared entirely or built up until they had nowhere left to go but out, all at once. Often at the most inconvenient moment possible, like during a work meeting, or embarrassingly during a commercial for dish soap that somehow had a sentimental music cue. And here's the part that flips the whole conversation. Crying easily isn't usually a sign that someone is falling apart. It's often a sign that someone notices more, feels more, and refuses to numb themselves out of self-protection. Some people don't cry because they're weak, they cry because their emotions have nowhere else to go, so the body finds its own way to let the pressure out. For some people, tears aren't a breakdown, they're a release valve, the same way laughter releases tension or a sigh releases stress. It's just the nervous system doing its job. This connects to something psychologists call emotional regulation, but in plain terms, it just means how a person manages the intensity of what they're feeling. People who cry easily aren't necessarily bad at regulating emotion. A lot of them are actually doing something harder. They're feeling the emotion fully instead of suppressing it, and then letting it move through them instead of trapping it somewhere inside. That takes more honesty than people give it credit for. Sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one who isn't afraid to feel what they're feeling, out loud, in front of other people, even when it's inconvenient. So if you're someone who teared up during a movie everyone else shrugged off, or felt your throat tighten during an argument you were trying to win, or cried over something good instead of something bad, you're not too much, you're not fragile, you're not dramatic. Maybe crying easily doesn't mean you're weak, maybe it just means your emotions reach the surface a little faster than most people's. And honestly, that's not something to apologize for. Thanks for watching, catch you in the next one.